Hey Bookworms, welcome back to my channel and to the last haul that I'm gonna do for a while. How dramatic. The reason for this, well, drama is because I realized that I'm sure, like a lot of you, I just get really excited about books, whether they are new or classics or just random things that look pretty on the bookshelf in a bookstore. And I buy them and I buy them in bulk, and then I read like a third of what I bought, and then I get excited about new things. And around, I think it was at the end of 2017, if I'm not mistaken, I did this haul of books that I already had on my bookshelf that I was planning on reading. And then at the end of 2018, I kind of looked at where I was and I read about like a third of them. Anyway, the point is that I had this resolution for 2019. I'm not a very big resolution for the new year fan. But anyway, I decided to focus 2019 on books, of many books that I have, that I already own, that for some reason I'm not reading, and just concentrate on not getting new books. And at the end of the year, I'm going to do another kind of maybe unhaul or declutter and really go through all my books. A lot of them are ebooks, so it seems like they tend to disappear more because they don't take physical space on the bookshelf, but they're still there, and I'm going to go over them and really be a bit more judgmental and decide, do I really want to keep them? Maybe I will never get to them and I'll just have to let them go to donate them or something. So, enough intro, right? Let's get into the list of books that I will be reading in 2019, at least some of them. So I have them written here in the list, that's why I'm looking down. So I have The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss, I think. This is a very famous kind of a modern classic, I think, of fantasy. I'm very interested in reading it. It took him forever to write a sequel, which recently came out. Let's see how long it will take me to get into that. Then I have the Mistborn series by Brandendon Sanderson. I read his Elantris and I really loved it. I have a review on it. I will of course link it down below, and people have been recommending the Mistborn series. It's a trilogy, I think. They've been recommending it for a while, so I want to read that. Then I have Dear Mr. M by Herman Koch. I had this book forever as an ebook. I think it was like 10 years ago or so that he wrote The Dinner, which I really loved. And at the time of purchasing Dear Mr. M, that was his latest book. So I wonder how many he managed to write in the meantime, but you know. Then I have Early Riser by Jasper Fforde. I love Jasper Fforde, except his habit of starting series and not finishing them. Jasper, what's going on with Shades of Grey, for God's sakes? Then I have Kindred by Octavia Butler. She wrote The Parable of the Sower, which I also reviewed and obviously really liked, and I'm going to give this one a chance. Then I have the newest book, I think, in the list, Lethal White by Robert Galbraith. This is the fourth book in the Cormoran Strike series. And basically there are two reasons I'm reading this book. First is that, you know, it's a series. I've read the first three books, so I'm going to read the fourth. But also, I really hated how the third one ended, and I want to see the aftermath of this. Next, I have Mortal Engines. Yes, I saw the movie, and I kind of liked it. A lot of people hated it, but I thought it was very cute. The idea was very interesting, this kind of dystopian future where cities are actually vehicled. It's very interesting, and it was very obvious that the movie was based on a book. It was obvious that they had to kind of change stuff and kind of squish things together and chop things up for the runtime of the movie. But I don't know, I thought it was very cute. I was curious, I want to read it, so, you know, we'll see. Then I have Telegraph Avenue by Michael Chabon. If you remember, I did this book declutter. I called it an unhaul a while ago, and I had to give up my hard copy of Telegraph Avenue because the print was so tiny I got headache when trying to read it, so I managed to get my hands on an ebook copy. Then I have The Bloody Red Baron by Kim Newman. I think this is a sequel to Anno Dracula by him, and this is historical horror that involves not only Dracula but many other Victorian novels. I think Frankenstein and Dorian Gray and other stuff, and I like when Kim Newman does that. Then there is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. It's also a very famous book. It's a drama about this boy that got orphaned and a new family is adopting him, but he's turning to crime, and they're going to make a movie out of it, and hopefully I'll be able to read the book before the movie comes out. Then we have The Labyrinth of the Spirits by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. He's the author of The Shadow of the Wind, which was amazing in my opinion, but he has ups and downs. Then I have The Rook by Danielle O'Malley. This is a good example to why I am doing this organization now. The Rook was a book that kind of caught my eye in a bookshop, and I looked at the back and thought, that's interesting, I'll add it to the list. I have no idea what it's about. I used to know when I looked at the back and thought it was interesting. I have no idea anymore. So why do I have it, you know? Anyway, moving on, the next is The Toymaker by Robert Dinsdale. I think it's a newer book. Again, one of the things that just caught my eye in a bookshop, and I think another YouTuber or someone on Instagram said that they were enjoying it, so I was like, okay, why not? That's kind of the theme of the books that I buy in my hauls. It's just some person said it was nice, and I was like, okay, let's give it a chance, I'll get it. Don't judge a book by its cover, but you know, the cover is the first thing you see. Okay, moving on, I have a classic. I have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. My husband can't stand this book, but I will give it a chance. We do have some similarities in taste, but not everything. You know, maybe I'll do a retro review on it. We'll see. Next I have This Is Where I Leave You by Jonathan Tropper, and I've seen the movie. I thought it was so cool and so funny, and someone, was that my aunt? I think it was my aunt. She said that the book is even funnier and even better, and yeah, you know, funny books are good. And the last two are nonfiction. I think both of them are composed of like short stories about mythology. The first one is Mythos by Stephen Fry, and the second one is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. I know that the style is probably going to be very different. Neil Gaiman is more kind of deep and a bit more serious and dark, while Stephen Fry is very funny and sarcastic and very British. I mean, both of them are English, but Stephen Fry is like very kind of, his humor is very typical British humor, and I really like that. So I don't know, I'm excited about both of them. But at the end of the year, as I will be going over which books I want to keep and which not, I'm going to be a bit more lenient when it comes to nonfiction and short stories, because I don't really like those. And I think with short stories, it's okay if you only read some of them and not all of them, and you kind of skip on the ones that aren't that interesting. We'll see, but I am planning the end of the year to really do this recap and see where I am on which books can go and which might stay, and to kind of clear up some space for new books on my bookshelf. So yeah, let's see. It's like 1, 2, 3. I have 17 books here, and that's considering each one is one book. Both Mistborn and Mortal Engines are more than one book. Let's see if I even finish all of them in 2019. But I am going to be tough on myself, and I encourage you to do so as well. Do the whole KonMari thing, and only leave the books that spark joy. I will link my review on the life-changing magic of tidying up in the description box. Anyway guys, that was my haul. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please wish me luck in reading all of these books, and I wish all of you good books. You know, that's another resolution for 2019. I am planning to enjoy the books that I'm reading. I'm planning to give book chance, but if I see that I don't like them, I will stop reading them. So anyway, guys, that's it for this long blabbery haul. I really hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, don't forget to click like and show it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay tuned for reviews on these books. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.